I just remembered that I wanted to be recording these games. So...
Tranquility dark, then a Venice dark blood cry, enjoying the bruise. That's basically Roy talking shit.
Love it. Okay, so, I just
Roy does
started
not
the
like
recording.
Kakamaru either. Or at least, oh, you just started recording?
I just started the recording. I just remembered that I wanted to be doing that. So...
Best games are always the ones that don't get recorded.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Okay, so we're just doing the same mock battle that we were doing last time. We started back at turn 1 to introduce everyone to how combat goes. And so far, there's been some back and forth with people, creating different openings and setups and stuff like that. Some of the enemies have started moving out into the board. Some of the characters have started moving out into the board. And the big thing that has happened so far is that Roy saw Hyakamaru going for the flag and used his drone thingies to kind of like hack Hyakamaru's system and make it think that it's on fire. And then while Hyakamaru was distracted by that, Paprika fired a missile barrage at it and so thoroughly took him out that now all of the enemies are intimidated by her, and it was the beginning of a relationship, a friendly rivalry with Hyakamaru. That's the summary of everything that's happened. It was very cool. Now,
There was also there was a smoke screen thrown up by Esperez after a suppressing fire by Eilish's mech. That smoke screen was dispersed by
Reverend Byrne.
Reverend Burns' mech. Apologies. That smoke screen was dispersed by her. No, wait. No, the suppressing fire, wasn't it? The suppressing fire was... Why did that smoke be dispersed by two people?
Esperez put out chaff. Esperez put out chaff. Reverend Byrne put out a smoke field that got rid of this chaff, and then Otema came out and dispersed the smoke field and then took some pot shots. Okay.
Yeah, this guy took some pot shots and hit Kevin's character.
So
sorry for screwing you up there.
Okay, so we just had a very badass moment with Hyakamaru being taken out of the fight. Now an enemy gets to go. Does anybody have any thoughts on which enemy moves and what they do?
Esperez should try to go again.
Yeah, I think that Esperez should. I think that Esperez should try to get in and take that flag. Since
next to the giant mech with a flaming sword. Sure, go ahead, Esperez.
So her mech is actually not super huge. That's just blown up for us to be able to see easily. But she is a threat that he's going to have to fly past. Does anybody remember if Esperez took... I don't think Esperez got hit this game. I think that was from the last game we did. So I'm going to undo that damage.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have been hurt. He didn't get hit. Okay,
so since this is just a basic Tier 2 battlefield event, which is the standard... Esperez is going to get to the flag, but will not be able to get away with the flag until the next time we have a chance to do a battlefield event. So, everybody has gone. There's not a strict turn order, which means we don't have to go back to me. I think that anybody could go at this point. Does anybody have any
I'd like to do something similar to what Esperez just did. I kind of have a setup idea for it if I can roll well enough, but I would like to go for their base and try to get a flag.
Now, this is going to be tricky because your ship does not have, is not capable of maneuvering in space.
I know. I have an idea. I'm hoping it'll work, but
I'm very excited. Oh, I'm so excited.
I basically want to see if it's possible for Gigapascal to yeet me at the base and then yoink the cable to pull me back.
This is perfect. Yeah.
I was thinking a similar thing. I was thinking I would have to actually go over there and grab you and pick you back up, but no, I like the cable better.
So here's how we're gonna do that. First,
I can use my segmented Adachi, and you can basically hold on to a light part of that.
I love that. Okay, so first, Roy is going to have to roll, and the move that Roy uses is going to be metal. This is the case where you use metal, where it's literally like one person's doing something and somebody else is helping them to do that.
Okay.
So Roy is going to roll metal.
Check. Go ahead and do that
now. It can be, whatever skill makes sense here. I don't think that warfare is a great fit for this. Might be something that would fall under. Okay, I think either parkour. I could see a case for this being parkour. Or strategy.
I feel like this would be. Yeah, I was gonna say warfare or strategy. I would say warfare.
How about this? You're really good at warfare, and I think there's a very valid case for this being warfare. So why don't you go ahead and use warfare?
All right, I'll use warfare. Which ability? All right, where's my big sword? Segmented Titanic Adachi. Oh,
fuck! Another really, really good roll. Okay.
Fuck yeah!
So metals are cool. The way that a metal works is instead of you suffering a consequence and like causing an effect, the way that a metal works is you get tied in with the action that they do. So if you rolled a 7 to 9, that means that you take the consequence instead of the person who's doing the action, and you advance their roll up to the next tier. So if they had a fail, it becomes a pass. If they had a pass, it becomes great, etc. But since you rolled a 13 and above, you advance the roll to the next tier, do not suffer any consequences, and choose a bonus, which is either a forward or a string.
It's gonna be a string, because she's on a string. Yeah, a string with paprika.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going into your character sheet. I'm opening up resources, going down to strings, adding one for paprika. That's going to be a tier 2 relationship to start with.
We call it the dynamic duo.
Okay. So you are going to go up to 1 point higher in that string. And a thing to keep in mind is that at any time you can spend 1 point of a string to improve an applicable roll. So if you fucked up a roll, but it was something that you were doing to try to like defend or protect paprika, or the two of you were like, comboing on it or something, then you could utilize some of that relationship power to get a better roll. And it does not immediately like throw you down to like a worse relationship. It's just like, those strings are going to go up and they go down by spending them to get, advantages. So spending a string is not like you're hurting the relationship. Unless you do it, unless you spend a string for a character a lot without building it back up in response. If you take advantage of a relationship too many times, eventually you will hurt it. But for now. Okay, so I set up that string. That was Zai's metal. Now we need to do Aeneas's move, and the move category is going to be navigate, not negotiate. Navigate. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a navigate. The skill, I feel like this is parkour. I feel like this is textbook parkour.
My grace is bad.
Yeah.
What ability would I use for this?
Which ability would you use? Just choose like anything. Just choose NA. Because this isn't an ability. This is just a thing that you're doing. So.
Gotcha. I didn't know we could use NA.
Yep. All right. 9. Oh, and that was plus. We didn't have a stat for that, so it didn't add anything. Okay, so your grace is -1, so that goes from a 9 down to an 8. But an 8 and a 9 are both mixed success, so no problems there. Okay, so.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah. So. This would have been just a plain pass, but because you also get the bonus from Zai's metal roll, which advances the roll to the next tier, it goes from a pass to a great. So create 2 forwards or a short opening, a battlefield event happens, and choose 1 bonus. Do you want to create an opening or create a couple advantages? Aeneas?
Could you give me like the cliff notes on the difference between forwards and openings again?
Yep. Okay. So forwards are just an advantage that you can use one time to improve a roll, and openings allow you to do criticals like you did to finish off Yakamaru, but this would be a short opening, which means it needs to be used by the next person who goes or it expires. We didn't do that last time with Yakamaru because there was a thing going on with Kevin, but
I don't feel like an opening is great since I was just trying to navigate, you know?
But you did go past 2 characters doing something extremely cool. I think there's a very real case for like Liko had no reason to assume that you were going to be there, and then you just got fastball specialed past her, and I could see like as you're going past her, you just like kick her frame in the back and send her like tumbling out into space, and like that's the opening.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I think that also works, especially since Paprika's like intimidating everyone right now.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so I am going to give her an opening icon, and that is going to be temporary, so that will go away if the next person who goes doesn't take advantage of it. But most importantly, you also managed to get the flag. So,
Yes.
So you are.
Am I still in the base though?
Yes.
Okay.
So you are over here in the base with the flag, And we can have Zai take an action to reel you back in the near future. As for taking advantage of that opening on Liko, I think Eilish is closest and makes the most sense. Does everyone agree with that?
For sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Before I do that, though, I keep forgetting these things. A tier 2 battlefield event happens in response to that move that Aeneas did. So I think that battlefield event has to be Esperez takes the flag and starts flying away.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's on board with that?
I think that works.
Okay. So, Esperez has the flag and is moving away. It is my turn. Oh, no, sorry. That battlefield event was the consequence. We now need to do a between turns action. I think it is you know what? I think that the between turns action is Liko. I think Liko is gonna shoot at Paprika, probably. So does everyone agree with that? Does anyone think that there's a different
I mean, that would be their highest priority. They're about to lose their flag.
Yeah, and they just got kicked out into space. I think that the reason this is an opening is that Liko is probably not well designed for maneuvering in space, which would explain why they've been staying on their station this whole time. So they're just kind of fumbling around in space and are going to take a shot as they go. Aeneas, you have this forward you created earlier, which is intimidating. Do you want to take advantage of that forward here?
How would that work out?
So, the way that would work is I would give Liko disadvantage on this roll. So you would take less damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
I just imagine her being like so beside herself, like she still can't wrap her head around what just happened, especially since a kid did it.
Okay, so the lower of these two, which is a 3, so you're going to take 3 points of hull damage instead of 6. So your frame has shielding, like energy shielding, which was unharmed up until now, so that goes down to 6 out of 9 shielding. Okay. And we said it makes sense for me to go next, so I am going to take an action. This is going to be a spike move. And this is going to be, I'm going to be using dueling, because that's my character's trained in like formal fighting styles. So I have 2 abilities that I think make good candidates here. One is, remember I said that this thing is designed as like a quarterback, or like it's more like a linebacker specifically. So one of its things is that it has a thing from one of the Gundam shows called Super Vernier thrusters, which are just
you know what that is?
It's basically a rocket strapped to its back.
Yeah, I was about to say, that sounds like a rocket.
Yeah, so basically it would just like slam like a semi-truck into this person. The other is she uses her sword.
I think the tackle would be nice.
I think the tackle is more entertaining.
Roy looks at Eilish, then looks over at Esperez and says, "The attached presence, jealously educated, the outstanding flight.
Fuck me. Really?
Are you coming up with all of these, or have you written AI programs that can write haikus?
I have several haiku generators
Nice.
Okay.
that I plug certain words into that make sense for our current moment.
Okay. So I gain 1 experience. I was also the only one who fucked up a roll last turn. I'm gonna level up before any of you bitches. I'm gonna have so much experience. Oh goodness. Here we go. Experience goes up 1 more. Okay. So normally the way it would work is if you make a spike move on somebody, they get to make a critical move on you in return, or if they can't, somebody else does, which is just like a regular attack, but you take more damage. But I think, given the fiction here, I think it is more entertaining if instead of I just get hit and I take like some amount of damage, I think it's more entertaining if I line up this shot and do this like full-blown rocket taking off, like pow forward, and I just fucking miss. And I just go flying out into space.
Really far away from the battle.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Bren, you literally like Falcon kicked off the map. Like,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's a very Super
geez.
Smash Bros. Fuck up kind of maneuver. Okay. Is everybody agreed that that's like way more entertaining than just me taking a lot of damage?
oh yeah,
That's
oh
better.
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna move myself to like the far corner of the map. Okay. And now my turn is over. We have either a battlefield event or an enemy move. If nobody has anything else in mind, it could just be Esperez continues making progress back to their to his home base, or does somebody have something else in mind that the enemies would do? Otema hasn't done anything in a long time. And Liko, you know, it totally makes sense, would want to take another pot shot.
I think, So their main priorities would be, one, to stop Paprika from getting their flag, but also to get Esperez back. I think they would focus getting Esperez back rather than stopping Paprika, because they're intimidated by Paprika, and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to fuck with her. Let's just get this guy back before they can get theirs over.
You know what I think we can do, instead of just saying Esperez, like, you know, continues moving back to the base? Right now, we have Reverend Byrne, who is not built for space travel and is kind of stuck on that that colony
I do
thing
have
there.
a jetpack.
Oh yeah, you do. We established that. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that the biggest threat to stopping Esperez from getting back to the base right now is Zai in the Gigapascal. I think that a very, like, entertaining thing to happen would just be Otema just, like, jumps onto Gigapascal and is trying to, like, pin you down so you can't get in Esperez's way.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does everyone feel about that? Feel good?
Makes sense to me. Well, Paprika's on like a extended hard light connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would make more sense for her to try to disrupt that hard light with her own hard light and try to like gain some control over it. I was thinking either she does that to try to disrupt the recoil and pulling back, or she uses a psychic ability to act as a tractor beam on Esperez and get him back faster.
Ooh,
That's fun. I like that one.
I like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna say she moves down here, so she has a clean line of sight. She does a she reaches out with some psychic magic nonsense, grabs Esperez, and just pulls him like way back to the base. Now, he hasn't scored until he gets his flag to their flag's starting position. So he still has to get, around the base there, but it's getting close. Okay. Kevin, Adora,
Yeah.
or Zai? Which one of you wants to go?
Let me go, and then I will hop off for real.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
let's look at what your thing has for abilities. You have
Metal. I would love to try to take advantage of the opportunity that has he's gotten pushed back. I forget the name of the guy that just got pushed back.
Liko.
Can I metal and shoot him with the sort of gum up the works thing to make it even harder for him to move? Or am I too far away?
No, I mean you're not too far away. But I think that. Okay, so one of two things. I don't think it would be. Okay, so you could just say you do that.
Like we're meddling in something, right?
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking about the mechanics of what would happen. So when you do a medal, you give somebody else advantage or disadvantage. So effectively, what you would be doing is you're creating a disadvantage that gets applied informally to when Liko tries to do something. That's viable.
That would make sense if you're gumming up his internal components,
Yeah,
right?
No, the other thing you could do is you could when you do a medal, it is often paired up with another player's action, so you could team up with either Zai or Adora and use one of your abilities to augment whatever they try to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know how that would fit with the gum up the works.
Nope,
thing.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
So for your for the ability you're about to use, on your character sheet, I typed in sealant great. What was I trying to write?
I don't know.
I think I meant to write
don't know.
sealant gun, and I maybe was saying great while I said that, and I just typed in sealant great.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to find the skill. I think it's could I do guile?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that guile makes sense here.
Oh boy.
So don't worry about that. That's because we haven't defined that stat yet. So that would be you rolled a 5. You would have a +2 on that from your wit.
Okay. So another 7. So
Yep.
I suffer the consequence that
The original roller would have suffered. Advance the roll to the next tier. If applicable, the roller suffers the consequences of the new roll result. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna tweak this because this is not the way that is traditionally used. I'm gonna say that you get. I think I'm just gonna handle it more like you were doing an attack. The result is
Okay.
just you get attacked in return, and
Okay.
you have to choose a consequence. a complication. The complication is either the setup that you just did doesn't last very long, or you take more damage.
I think the setup that I do just doesn't last that long.
Okay, perfect. So
What exactly did you do? Did you like try to fire the sealant at it to like slow down its movement, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just don't hit him with a whole lot of it.
Got some glue in the gears.
Okay, so so you got some sealant on Liko.
I think that's it for me. I think I'm gonna sign off for the evening.
All right, bye, Kevin.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye for real.
So, next thing, either an attack or a battlefield event happens.
Did Liko's mech get fucked up?
Huh?
Oh no, Liko's mech is just off in space and he can't move well.
Yeah. How about this? Because I want to give you guys a couple chances to try to get things going in your advantage before they just win. I think the next thing that happens is Liko, either Liko shooting at Paprika, or Otema shooting at Gigapascal. What do you guys think?
I think Liko should shoot, as Otema just is doing the tractor beam thing.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be a straightforward 7 points of damage. Paprika, you had 6 points of shielding left. So it pops your shield and you take 1 point of hull damage. You still have 11 hull left. Okay. Reverend Byrne, do you want to see if you could do something to slow down Esperez?
Slow down, or I do have a couple theoretical options.
Yeah, what you got?
With the warp control I have, I don't know if I can open a portal and try and yoink the flag through it.
That's probably a viable option. I'm gonna
Nice.
look at your abilities, but I think it's a solid candidate. Yeah, you have a psi magnifier on your thing, so that means you can use your psychic abilities at frame scales. Right, and then your abilities are over here. Instant warp transmission, which is portal stuff. Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. Do you think it is you yoinking the flag back, or you teleporting yourself to the flag?
I mean, if you want me to teleport there, that works. I could then, swing my sword to try and knock it out of his hand or something.
I think that is more interesting to the battle, because if you take it back, then we're just going back a few turns and they have to go over and get it from you again, and it would be more strategically smart to try to take it back. I think it's more entertaining if you teleport yourself there and just fucking flame sword him.
Okay. So what then? Head to head or something, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a head-to-head. You're just gonna do damage to him, he's gonna do damage to you. But, if you do... Let's say, if you do more than 4 points of damage, then you knock the flag off, and it's just like free floating in space.
Okay. And then as to type of skill, what do you think applies here?
I mean, it can be whatever feels right. I'm looking at your skills. Divinity would be a fair option.
Okay. I don't mind that.
Or you could do like warfare, but yeah, divinity is your strongest skill, and
yeah, and then flaming sword for the type, for the ability.
Yep. All right. So a 10. That's a pretty solid. That's a great. Okay. You do. Wow, that's a good roll on the damage too. 8 points of damage, which is very solid. You attack an enemy. Yeah. So you rolled a great. So you attack an enemy. Enemy attacks you back. Choose one bonus and one complication. Look at those bonuses and complications.
I'll do bonus of move tier -1 for the enemy, and then complication suffer morale.
Okay. Woo! That. Oh, okay, yeah. So, even though you did a very good, even though you gave.
Yep, that just breaks through my armor. Right? Because I have 6 armor, so now I lose 1 hull, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Correct. The flag goes flying out into space. So I think that...
And then that's the morale, yeah?
Yep. Perfect. So I don't think it would be Esperez who does the counterattack, because Esperez's thing is like a fighter plane kind of ship. It doesn't really have a melee combat option, but Otema is right there. So I think you attack Esperez, and then right behind it, Otema is coming in with like a fist to the face. You said enemy tier -1. Okay, yeah, so I already rolled that. So that damage was from Otema's bioframe smashing your thing in the spacesuit faceplate thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Okay. So, I don't think Roy has gone yet this turn. Roy, you could use your turn to pull Paprika back.
I'm going to use mine to both pull her back and whip her over onto our base.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Cool.
Okay. So
let's see,
that would be
recovery.
No, it wouldn't be recovery. That's for like healing. Navigate.
Or navigate.
I think it's navigate.
Yeah, navigate. Skill I would like to use.
It's kind of like an
see.
interesting twist on navigate, because you're moving somebody else instead of moving yourself, but it fits in.
This is still kind of warfare, just because we did the first one with warfare, so I'm going to go with that again.
Sure.
And I'm using the segmented Titanic Odachi.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, up. Okay. Ooh. My eyes reverse those numbers for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not really trying to do any damage to anybody anyway. I guess they could kind of like.
No.
Okay, cool.
I just have it roll that like automatically, because it's easier to get that number than get that number if I do it here, but okay, so 9. So that is a pass, unless you have some kind of forward you can use, which I don't think you do. Or if you wanted to spend a string, but I don't think that's necessary.
I passed
2
it,
forwards
so.
or a short opening, and a battlefield event happens. Choose 1 complication. Okay, so one of the forwards is you get her to you, and then I think you mentioned you wanted to get her to you and get her back to the base. I think that is the second forward. A tier 2 battlefield event happens. Choose a complication. So you can either suffer morale or take some harm. And I think the battlefield event,
I'm gonna take some harm.
I would love to say that the battlefield event that happens is like an enemy. Otema would have to be the one to do this. Otema like teleports over there and is like in her way for that last leg of it. But at a tier 2, I just don't think that makes sense. So I think that the tier 2 battlefield event is maybe Esperez turns around and tries to really gun it back there, but even then, you guys pretty much have it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be too hard on us, but I also don't want to be like too easy on us.
Nope. I think that I mean they've lost their flag. Like the chance of them winning at this point is pretty much null.
Yeah.
And for a tier 2, he's not actually able to get to the flag, but he's just able to like move towards it. So so I think he is adjacent to Paprika, but Paprika has the flag. She is right next to home base. And I think everybody has gone. So
the damage that Roy takes is just from having the hard light extended for so long and whipping it back and forth like that. So whatever shield or armor damage could generate.
Awesome. Okay, so we're just gonna do so you take 4 points of so either 4 points of hull damage or 4 points of reserves damage. I think that it kind of makes more sense if it's to your reserves, because you're saying it's
the function of reserves again.
So reserves is what it's called, right? It should be down in under frame. Yeah, it is. Okay, so your reserves are essentially it's kind of a broad scope representation of how much of all the stuff it needs to operate your frame has. So it represents like your fuel supplies. It represents, in your case, it represents like your your mental focus to be able to continue these psionic abilities. It represents like the how much ammunition you have left in your guns.
It makes sense. Yeah, I think it should hit reserves.
So when reserves hits 0, that doesn't mean your frame like can't do anything anymore. It means we pick one thing that your frame can't do anymore, that is in the form of like something you ran out of reserves on. So yeah, I think that reserve damage makes the most sense here, and you took 4 points of damage, so that leaves you with 3 points of reserves left. And so the last thing that's going to happen before we can start the next turn and Paprika can finish this is we have the between turns thing, and it's either a move or an attack. and I think it makes the most sense for Esperez to take a shot at Paprika. He's not going to be able to like take her out realistically, but he can. It's like the best thing he can do right now. Everyone in agreement?
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
No, I like this.
So, you rolled a 5. How much hull did your thing have left? 'Cause it popped
let me
the
check.
shield. Oh, you had 11 hull left. So your 11 hull goes down to 5, but you still have the flag and you're still going.
6.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I'll go fix that. So, you're still moving. It's the start of the next turn. I think we can just wrap this up and say, the last thing we have to do is Paprika getting the flag back.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. We did it. We won.
Yeah, I would say that it would be a navigate roll, but you're so close that I think that
Could we, since he rolled so poorly, could we say that Esperez's shot at me, like, the downfall of it was that he basically pushed me back into the base?
Yeah, the kinetic energy of the gunshots pushed her off the last leg of the.
How about this? You had to get the flag back like into the base in order to score that point. How about a couple of his shots hit you? Oh, let's say it was a missile array, that like a missile volley. You can tie it back into your shot against Kakamaru earlier. So one of the missiles hits you. That's where you get that 5 points of damage. But then the other missiles hit the wall behind you and blast open the wall. So now instead of having to go all the way around and finding like the hangar entrance to get inside, you can just walk through the wall that he blasted open.
Amazing.
Excellent. Okay. You scooch on through, you plant the flag in the ground, and everybody's frames gets like a pop-up on the screen letting them know that the match is over.
I think the pop-up is a hollow video of Ruda there clapping all four hands very slowly. Well done! Expected nothing less from my old crew, but didn't expect a kid to make it to the last edge of the race. I guess any kid that's being taken care of by Roy's got some shit going on.
Yeah, that's very good. I'm trying to decide if it's more fitting that Roy or that Ruda would like live stream that speech to you, or if it would be like a pre-recorded thing from Ruda's TV show that's like the pre-recorded like, oh, player has won announcement.
He would have live streamed it simply because it was Paprika.
I totally think
won
so.
the match.
Okay, that's excellent. So, it is it's 4:30. We have been playing for 2.5 hours. Probably good to start wrapping it up since we just finished this. So,
Yep.
let's start with this. I'm putting all of our players back to the system map that is not the non-battle map for the system.
Yeah.
So anybody who's a GM has to move themselves over to the non-battle map for the system. All the players should be moved over automatically. You guys get back from the you fly yourselves back into the hangar, and before we do any actual scenes, because I think there's some good scenes to be had with you guys, you know, like repairing your ships after this skirmish and stuff like that. So let's go over the next things that need to happen and figure it out from there. So it is okay. So you guys finished that mock battle. This was my first time actually seeing this system in motion, like all the way. My thoughts, I loved that it was not everybody just doing like kick some ass or whatever it's called. Is it called one-on-one? What's that thing called?
Head-to-head?
Head-to-head, thank you. Yeah, so I loved that this was a battle, but it wasn't you guys just rolling head-to-head every time. And in fact, in the whole battle, I don't think anyone ever rolled head-to-head. Or like
just
maybe,
me.
Yeah, just once.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great indicator of like the quality, the best parts of this system, which is that it can tell a battle scene without just breaking it down into like, you know, HP attrition. Like this battle was players flying all over the place and creating smoke screens and pushing each other's smoke screens away and all that stuff. I also think that I wasn't sure whether having a you know, either an attack or a battlefield event between every player turn would work, because there are also like attacks and events built into the turn results themselves. But I think it did a good job of allowing the battle to keep moving in a way that is not only in response to what the players are doing. And I don't think it ever became an issue of like you guys feeling like you were overwhelmed with enemies, right?
No, I really liked it.
Yeah. I have to say, you know, I knew that I liked the individual systems that were making up this system, but I'm really happy with how that fight went. That was a lot of fun.
That was probably one of our most fluid fights that we've had.
It was fluid.
Yeah.
It was
like I said it in the Discord, but it definitely makes like the environment feel just as reactive as the characters do, instead of it just being like a static back and forth fight.
right. Yeah. No. Yeah, and the stuff like the times that you guys were able to use like metal, like the Roy Paprika combo there was super fun.
Yeah, that turned out way better than I expected it to.
And
I was like, all right,
this,
some part of this was going to fail, but nah, it
only
worked out.
because you guys rolled really, really well.
yeah, like it could have failed, and it would have narratively still been cool if it did fail.
Absolutely. It would have been really
I
fun.
tried to do a cool thing, and now I didn't, so let me just look at my health bar tick down.
Yeah, no, that's great. And this was pretty, like pretty straightforward as these things go. You guys had, there was an objective you were focusing on that was not just, you know, kill everyone. But I think that, I think it was still kind of a sterile environment. Like we didn't, there wasn't a larger narrative that it was part of. When we get to the point where we're like in the middle of the campaign and we're doing, you know, fights and scenes like this, I think that that's gonna be really cool, seeing the kind of stuff that we were just having in this fight, but incorporated into a larger narrative. So some of those battlefield events aren't just like, you know, enemy moves around, enemy grabs somebody. Sometimes those battlefield events are like, you know, somebody, like some NPC you met earlier wanders in and sees this fight happening and gets scared. Like, it'll be cool. Yeah. So that was great. Next time we play, we are going to start the campaign proper.
Imagine there'll be a scene of
guys, get embroiled into a little starter adventure.
The space shark attack.
Space shark attack is a thing that could happen.
Okay.
Okay, so last thing is, are there any? Do you guys want to wrap up here, or are there any scenes you guys want to see play out before we move on until next game?
I'm fine with saving up scenes until our next game, so we can just be getting back to the docks area.
Yeah.
And this is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we need to wrap up. Okay, so I'm checking post game. What we should do before we finish is we should deal with injuries. Do we need to add any new clocks? And I have to figure out everyone's archetype triggers at some point, but we don't have to worry about that right now. I never finished filling in that because I ran into some issues with it, but I've figured out what I'm doing. I just need to actually finish filling those in.
So Stinky just needs to have some hull, and I think Kevin or Emil needs to have a lot of repair done.
Yeah, Emil's thing got really close to getting fucked up. Yeah. Okay, so
as for non-player characters, Esperanza's ship, I imagine, is in pretty fucking bad condition.
Yeah, but we don't need to worry about that. Okay, and Hyakamaru's.
Yeah, Hyakamaru is just completely busted.
Yeah, I think Hyakamaru's got there's a mech limb just kind of spinning through space next to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we were in the middle of a level, the way this would work is any armor or shielding or whatever gets refilled back to full at the end of every fight. But any hull damage or body damage or reserves or anything like that you took stays gone and persists until you do something to recover them. Because you guys are just heading back to the ship, you've got plenty of downtime to do all your repairs and stuff like that. We're just gonna patch everyone back up to full. So we're gonna patch everyone back up to full. But in the future, when you guys are in the middle of a level and we get to the end of a game like this, we're gonna take a note of where everyone's at, if anyone's hurt, and if it makes sense in the fiction that there's something you could do to repair that and heal up before we finish for the day, this would be the best time to do it, because otherwise we're gonna forget about it.
Right.
But right now, that's not something you need to worry about, so we can just do that. If we were in the middle of a level and there was no opportunity for you guys to repair your stuff, if your frames got all dinged up, but you're trapped in, I don't know, an underground chasm or something like that with no warehouse nearby or hangar nearby to do repairs at, then you can't do repairs. Oops. Okay, so I'll patch everybody back up to full, and then I will see you guys next time.
Question: what about resolve from a morale damage? Would that normally go back after a battle, or is that something that would persist normally?
It would persist normally. In this case, you can top it back off. But yeah, resolve is supposed to be a thing that, unless you are doing something to take care of your character's mental health, unless you specifically pick a way that your character is going to unwind or, take some time to talk with their friends about how they're feeling, or something like that, then that resolve is just going to keep whittling away until eventually it bottoms out and you have to face a consequence.
Okay,
cool. So are we all good to wrap it up here?
I'm good.
All right. This was super duper fun. Thank you guys.
Fun. Thank you.
All right. Bye everyone.
All right, y'all. See you next time.
Bye.